Okay, so part of the conversation tonight then is it seems and feels like why is everybody a 10th Dan now? Discuss.
This, well, it does seem that way. It seems, I don't know, there's a lot of high-ranking people I see on online on Tinternet all have opinions on everything.
Mhm.
But also, I think I don't know. Like I say, everyone's a 10th Dan. I don't know where they've all come from. Not only in one art, but in several arts as well. So it
Yeah.
seems they have a lot of time on their hands to do 10th Dan in this, 5th Dan in that, um, 3rd Dan in another art. It just seems nobody's after mastery in one single art. And what is mastery? What is the mastery grade?
Did you used to have it that basically if you got a karate grade in something, you could almost have a kickboxing grade in the same? Is that a thing that's now sort of out? But that used to be a thing that was definitely around here in the, I don't know, 90s, maybe?
Yeah, you might be right on that, but I wouldn't know. I never went over to kickboxing back then. So yeah,
Nor did
I
I.
think yeah.
But people were just sort of almost claiming it, I think. I was just thinking about you said about multiple arts. I mean, because, and then again, I mean, it's how do you record your grading as well? Because I could say, well, I'm a fifth dan with a BCA. I've got a second dan Shotokan, but they're basically the same fucking thing, aren't they? I mean, I went from second dan Shotokan as such when I wasn't in the BCA, joined the BCA, got it ratified. So,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
now
and
I'm,
that's
and then I graded up through the BCA. Would you record them as different? Only if I fucking wouldn't. But
Yeah,
so. Do you
well,
think?
I think
Go
the
on,
thing
Bob.
is there you can follow a progression, can't you, from one, two, three, four, five.
yeah,
There is a definite path, step, step, step.
yeah.
So with
And
the point,
carry on.
I was going to say, with the point of people being 8th Dan, 10th Dan, is there much point to it? Is there much point to it beyond 5th Dan?
I, it's quite hard, Alex. I mean, right. So just taking me, for instance, I got my fifth dan, as you know, a few years back. But I look around. I mean, I'm not a naturally gifted athletic person, as some people listening to this podcast may have realized when they met me. Uh, I don't think, I mean, yeah, I trained fucking hard for my gradings. But when I was starting out Cry, the thought of a fifth Dan, you're sort of thinking like, someone who's exceptional.
Hmm.
And I don't think I am exceptional. Well, obviously I'm fucking exceptional, but I'm not. Do you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
it's a question of
There's
picking in what.
Yes, so many people seem to be able to get to such a high grade. And I'll bring in another thing so that everyone can just jump in a sec. There's also, I've found there's a lot of examples of people who have like on the edge of black belt and they find it very hard or they don't want to grade for black belt. But as soon as they get a black belt, that's it, they're on a roll. And suddenly 2 years later, they're third downs or fourth downs type of thing. And they just, as soon as the actual black belt, which is like a hard one, is passed. So we used to train with this guy, and he was a first kyu for probably 10 years. Then his instructor persuaded him to go for a black belt. He went for a black belt, and then every chance he could, it was like, oh, you're graded now to the next one. And people stopped caring about the quality. And I was sort of like, he was shit when he was a first kyu, and he's still shit, and now he's a third dan or something. And it's just a bit, I
Mm.
don't know. I'm not sure I
So,
deserve a fifth dan as such. I don't fucking know. I don't even know what I'm talking about now. It's been
Yeah,
a long fucking week, all right?
the point, Andy, of the grading is that it's done under other people. So it's not up to you whether you deserve it or not. You get it based on the criteria set by somebody else and if they think you've met that criteria.
Yeah,
But when you're talking, I mean, just to step back slightly, talking about what when we started you thought was a high grade. When I first started back to serious training, which wasn't that long ago, 30 years ago, it's probably quite a long time.
it feels like years ago to me.
it
But the
is for our
guy I
younger
specifically
viewers.
chose to train with was head of his own association at Fourth Dan. And that didn't seem unreasonable
No, no, not at all.
at all.
No, oh, yeah, I'm
See,
trying to think.
the change. See, I think even now, I always thought, if you look at somebody who's an eighth Dan or a ninth Dan, it was quite a rarity. That,
Mm.
or it seemed maybe it's a thing pre-internet days. So you'd read the magazines and stuff like that, and you wouldn't hear of that many eighth, ninth Dan, 10th Dans.
Mm-hmm.
So it seemed like these were the genuine masters,
Yeah.
because it didn't seem as common. But now, I suppose with the age of the internet, every man and his dog, or every cunt, everyone's got a fucking 10th Dan.
Yeah, possibly.
And it's
The
so it doesn't
other thing,
seem it doesn't seem so special. It doesn't seem it's
I can say another thing to bear in mind from our perspective when you're looking back, saying, well, pre-internet days, we used to look at the magazines and you'd look at this and look at that and whatever. But those people were training then. There were lots of people who were training then, and we're looking at it now again. Like I said, when I went back to serious training, 30 years later, when I first dropped out of serious training, it's 45 years ago. So all those people who stuck with it have been in training another 40, 45 years. It shouldn't be a surprise that there are a lot of high grades around, perhaps.
Yeah,
Just because, again, when you go back to when I started in 73, karate in the Western world hadn't been around for that long for there to be that many high grades.
that is true. But it does bring you to the other question, doesn't it? And I mean, I'm of the opinion, once you've got a grade, you've got it for life. It doesn't matter whether you get older or whatever, or your legs fall
Oh,
off.
that's handy, that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking. But there's some people who I think are way past their best who are still grading to very high levels.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think we had this conversation before, people going, I had an 8-hour grading. I had to crawl across broken glass naked and all that bullshit.
That was the last one, yeah.
And about how hard everything was. And you're like, yeah, I mean, like,
Mm.
So just going back, Andy, you said when you got that grade for life. Do you think that if somebody quits as well?
I suppose I suppose it's whether it's you still earned it on that day.
So you had that grade. Is that
So it's a bit like
you achieved that grade?
Someone gets a PhD or whatever.
Mm.
If they suddenly fucking start watching the Kardashians or some shit on telly and their brain melts, then they've still got a PhD in the closet.
This is true. Yeah. So
again,
both, because Philip, I don't know what grade he got in his music, but my kids got only grade 1, grade 2 on the piano. But I'd still say they were grade 1, grade 2. If they jumped on a piano now, they're not grade 1 or grade 2 on a piano.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you see, I struggle with the whole a grade is for life thing again, because I got my 4th Dan, 7 years ago, 6, 7 years ago. But I retired from serious training, 4 or 5 years ago. And I haven't really done anything since. I do my own little bits at home. I go to the occasional seminar. And I keep humming and ahhing, but yeah, am I a 4th Dan? Can I really claim that if I'm not training? I've got a piece of paper that says so. I've got a black belt that I wear around my waist, but does it really mean anything as far as physical skill is concerned? Because physically I'm not what I was at all. Mentally, opinion is divided on that, but I've kept thinking about it. I've kept studying things for that amount of time. But where does that relate to what I did for the grading? Because what I know and what I think now has nothing to do with what I did at grading time.
The question is, I suppose, though, does everyone then lose it in the end? Who decides what grade you are now and what your ability is? If you passed it, my thought is, well, you may not be as good as you once were, but no one ever will be. No one can ever keep getting better forever. So at some point, you're going to drop off and someone's going to go, right, you're a bit shit now, mate. You're a fucking third dan. Oh no, you're a second dan.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
how there's no universal, what's it anyway, is there? There's no universal thing. I mean, one man's fourth dan is another man's third cue. So
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Which sort of brings us on again then to the past a certain point, what do those gradings actually mean? What are they testing? What are they checking for? What are you grading on?
or are you just getting them as a piece of paper through the post? In which case, is that worth the fucking effort? Do you want it? Do you not want it? I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
I could
I
probably write now and say, look, I want my sixth dan because I've done my time.
Mhm.
Send me a certificate, and then what will I do with it? I'll stick it in, well, wherever the fuck the folder is with all my other certificates. I have no clue. Somewhere in this mess in my.
I think if you're running a club, it's promotional, is it? It's marketing.
Mhm.
Um, that's for the outsiders. Your grade means something to them. Um, for yourself, I suppose just ego, then, isn't it? To go beyond a certain grade. Because I mean, I got my fifth dan. I felt like I worked bloody hard for it. When
That's
I
because
got
you're old.
yes, well, but by my age, I should be at least 10th dan, surely. But I think I look at it. There is a bit of itself. You want to improve yourself all the time. But does that belt mean you've improved? You should know yourself. If you're getting better. But going to what we were saying earlier, you will get to a physical peak, won't you? Where
Mhm.
I suppose you could get graded to that point with your physical peak, but then you gain knowledge as you get older as well, don't you?
Yeah,
Allegedly.
yeah, and that's my sort
So,
of what I fall back on to justify that I'm still entitled to be here because I know a lot more than I used to know. But a physical grading for me past a certain point, and again, it comes down to what does your syllabus require? What do you need to be able to demonstrate? And is there a genuine physical difference between what you can do and how you can do it between each grading? Um, but there has to come a point where all the physical grading proves is that you can still do something that you've already proved you can do. And why does proving that you can still do something that you used to be able to do anyway make you a grade higher than you were when you could do it then? Did any of that make sense as a sentence?
I know when I did my fifth dan, I wanted to do a physical,
Mhm.
and I can't. I must have been. I can't remember. I see. It did mean a lot to me. It was important, but I can't remember when it was. Whether it was 4 years ago, 5 years, whenever it was, it
Mhm.
wasn't that long ago. Um, but I wanted to do a physical. It was more to prove to myself. It wasn't for anybody else's benefit. It was for me. That I
Yeah,
could
I
and
still do it.
if I recall rightly on that though, you were confirming your fifth dan because you already had a fifth dan from
I
another
did already had
source.
it, and a bit the same as Andy saying it. Cause I just confirmed it with the BCKA,
Mhm.
so I wanted it verified there. To be fair, that's what I asked for. I could have potentially, I suppose, I could have put myself forwards for the next grade, which would have been sixth dan, because I was
Yeah.
time served on it,
Mhm.
but I didn't feel I wanted to. I just thought fifth dan was fine, and beyond fifth dan, I don't
don't see
see.
the point. No,
Yeah,
no.
Well, again, their only game, or basically fifth dan was what they used to be. That was the pinnacle until too many people started to get close to being fifth dan, and they added another five dans in because there were places for people to go. And again, this comes down to you have to be two grades ahead of the person you're grading notionally within the doctrine of traditional karate. And so I sort of fell foul of that in my traditional side because I did my Shodan, I did my Nidan pretty much on time for the calendar, as it should be. So 2 years after Shodan, I did my Nidan, which was fine. And then although I was probably ready significantly before that, It took me 7 years from knee down to Sandown. And the reason behind that was, as I said, when I joined the association as a first Q, the head of the association was fourth Dan. The instructors at the club were second Dan that I used to go to, and he used to come occasionally and train there. But because he was only fourth Dan,
Yeah.
nobody could progress that quickly. So they had to wait until he was fifth Dan before the instructors could go for third. And because I was second Dan, and I could have gone for my third Dan under him, but that would have put me as somebody who started as Q grade under these instructors at the same grade as the people who taught me from the ground up. So I had to wait for 7 years until he did his sixth Dan so he could grade them to fourth Dan so I could grade to third Dan.
See, what a load of old
That's a
bollocks
load of
that is.
that's a load of
So
bollocks.
it had
Listen
nothing
to
to
all that, I was
do
thinking,
with,
what a load of bollocks.
it had nothing to do with could I do the syllabus? Was I physically capable? Was I up to basically with each year that was passing, because I was already well in my 40s, I was probably getting less physically capable as we were heading
And,
down.
and it is, yeah, I mean, that's just bollocks, isn't it? Because then who made the first 10th Dan? It's just,
It was done
well,
as a committee, wasn't it?
exactly. So therefore, yeah, all this waiting for someone else to do
So
this.
yeah, I'm assuming the whole time frame thing. I'm going to guess it was the JKA because they're the big
Yeah.
Shotokan group
Mhm.
organised. So I'm guessing that was their idea. The
I,
2
I
years,
suspect so.
second,
And
3 years to
then
third.
given all the other groups were just spin-offs from the JKA.
Everyone
And
stuck
again,
with
yeah,
it.
and a period of X years, you go, well, I mean, there was, did one of you, was it you, Bob, who was on this conversation online recently? And it was like, 2 years training once a week is very different to 2 years training every day.
Yeah. Well, I think that's when I was talking about the 1 month to black belt thing. If you work out the
Yeah.
number of hours you actually spend in training. So to
Yeah.
have an artificial, it takes 2 years to do this. Well, yeah, but is that 2 years of training 7 days a week or 2 years of training twice a week for an hour a time? And that's 2 hours a week.
Well, that's it. I mean, you both read Angry White Pajamas, haven't you?
Mhm.
They
Yeah,
test for black belt after 9 months, don't they? But they're training all the fucking time.
yeah, daily, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they have a day off? Maybe
I
Sundays
think they
off or
have one
something
day.
like that.
Yeah, I thought they had Sundays off. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Which
it's
they
funny.
probably just
I
slept.
just recommended that book to somebody today. Actually, it's great. I might have to read that again because it is a great read.
It is
Just
a
going
great
off,
read. It's
just
very
going off.
interesting because when you read his other books, you sort of go, oh, yeah, he's quite a good storyteller. So I mean, you all assume that there's bits of it that was stretched. But the
Right.
basic truth of it, I still believe is still there. None of his other books were as good as that one, would be, but that's probably
Oh,
just
right.
my personal interests, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah. But the
Sorry,
what's his
we're off
name?
tangent.
Was it? We got gone off tangent. Was it Robert
Robert
Mustard?
Twigger.
Yeah, but the guy,
Oh,
one of
the
the
Mustard, yeah.
Mustard.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's still going around on the seminar
He is,
circuit
yeah.
teaching. Yeah, and apparently he's really fucking good. So
Do you
if you like your
remember
Aikido, so
on the Rory courses, Sue, oh God, what's her name? Sue. Apologies, Sue, if you ever listened to this. I can't remember your surname. But Sue trained with him because she did Aikido.
right.
And she was the one, again, at another tangent, she was the one who made the Queen's dress for Blackadder.
Oh,
She was the costume designer, yeah.
if only you could remember a surname.
I know, it'd be fucking awesome, wouldn't it? Apologies, Sue.
All this name dropping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah,
that's a bit.
we sort of drifted all over the place with that, but putting it back then to, okay, what does each grade tell you about where you are on your path? And presumably that comes entirely down to where you train and what the context of those gradings are. Trying to relate one to another seems virtually pointless. And
Yeah.
how many steps can you take before it becomes, well, what am I proving next time that I couldn't do? And why has it taken me 20 years, 30 years to get to the point that I can prove that?
Have you read Gavin Mulholland's second Black
Yes.
4 Shades of, what's it called? More Shades of Black.
More shades of black. Yeah,
That's really interesting
Mhm.
because he actually gives you why each grade has something new. Whether you agree
yeah.
with it or not, at least he's got it spelt out.
It's
You
good.
know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
it's for. It's worth a read. Worth a
Mhm.
read.
Yours does though, Andy. Surely, I know.
Yeah, yeah, mine does. I mean, I literally more Four Shades of Black was a really good read, and then as I've said in I don't know one of our old podcasts, I'm sure I downloaded over 100 syllabi. I think syllabi because it's of the Witch origin, um, off the internet, and that's where I made my grading from, and then my downgrades I worked out so you were doing something different on each one.
Yeah, we tried to do that when we. I think up to fourth Dan, we got something different for each downgrade.
Yeah,
But when I read Four Shades of Black, the first book, we're going off topic again, but that was just after Luke and I had wrote our syllabus. We'd done it in lockdown, and then I managed to get a copy of Gavin's book, and I was reading Gavin's book, and I thought, fucking hell, this just resonates with everything that we've just done, which was quite nice. Although it's a different style, so obviously it's Goju-Ryu, and we were Shotokan, but I managed our cat kind of went in line. You know, our first Yan Shodan was about blitzing in and then finding angles. So yeah, it was good that after we spent hours sort of formulating a new syllabus, oh, right, somebody else has already done this. A bit like
yeah,
Bob talking about Vince's rules of combat.
Exactly.
You know, somebody's
yeah.
already been there before, could have saved you the time, but
Mhm.
it was good to go on that journey yourself, and that
Yeah,
discovery
it
yourself.
is. It is.
Yeah, and again, that's a different topic for another day. But I've always said for me, the interest, the fascination with studying what we do is not the knowing, it's the finding out.
Mm.
It's the looking at it, figuring it out, and working it out for yourself rather than turning up, somebody telling you something and thinking, oh, I know that now.
I think
Because I'm
I've
a
got.
finicky old
Yeah.
bugger and I have to prove everything, I can't take anybody's word for anything anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to sort of figure something out and then see someone else has done it, and it gives you that. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Someone else has figured this out as well.
That kind of
That's a
gives it
good
a bit
thing.
of yeah, clarity, yeah, confirmation as such, doesn't
Mhm.
it? Oh yeah, and yeah, he's well respected, Gavin, as well, isn't he? So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
when I read that book and I thought, oh, that kind of is in line with a lot of what we've just done. So, but like I say, More Shades of Black is really good. I think his second down is the fighting grade, isn't it? Dude does the
yeah,
30-man kumite. Then he does a weapons grade, and he does different grades.
teaching grade. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. It's well worth a read that one, I'd say.
yeah. So going back to the grade thing, I think we've said this before, and you know anybody who's got a fucking bit of sense would probably agree that any grade is only good within the organisation you're in anyway, isn't it? So I
Yeah,
could
and
be a
even
10th Dan, I could be a 10th Dan, but it's only good within my organisation.
yeah,
You know, it's
and
not.
even
It
then,
doesn't
it's a
mean anything
subjective thing,
outside
isn't
of.
it?
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything outside of Zanshin karate really.
Because
So
even
I could.
within associations, you see a wide range of skill and ability levels, mentally and physically, all at the same grade.
Yeah,
So it's not
yeah,
even consistent within groups.
Within, yeah, yeah,
yeah. I mean, that's another thing. It's like how much of yeah, how much of someone's background is taken into account in that grade. Again, we're getting it's another topic, isn't it? Can anyone get a black belt? Is a topic that did we do that before in the old
we have done
podcasts?
it. Yeah,
We
I mean, our
definitely did,
opinions could
yeah.
change. We did do
I
it,
can't
yeah.
remember what my opinion was at that point. So,
No. Yeah.
can you still be a black belt when you've started to get Alzheimer's and you can't remember what the fuck you said last week? I don't know.
I've been
I wonder
reliably
if,
ensured that
yeah.
I am.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So yeah, I think yeah, it's it's within the group you're in. Anybody could be a 10th Dan, can't they? Really, but does your 10th Dan mean anything to me? Unless I've trained with you or I know who gave you that 10th Dan, it means fuck all to me. Really,
And even
I think
then, if you've trained with somebody, are you judging them on that grade or are you judging them
I
on
wouldn't be.
who they are? The grade is
I
still
wouldn't.
irrelevant, isn't it?
It is really, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it means nothing. Yes, you're dead right. Yeah, it would be based on their skill set.
Mhm.
But like I say, if I hadn't trained with them then the only other guide I'd have is who gave it to them.
Here we go.
It's gonna-
So
I thought, is
believe
this going to be like Russell Brand trying to flick through the Bible now? Is it?
I haven't got that much hair.
But we're going to bring Russell Brand into everything now as well.
Yeah, well, Prince Andrew, Russell Brand.
Prince Andrew, yeah, it's got to be mentioned. I believe in telepathy and in telling the future. That was said by Kanazawa, apparently.
Mhm.
Thoughts?
He can believe in it, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Well, that's the thing. A belief is a belief. It's called that for a reason. Doesn't have to be evidence-based. If that's your, it's why self-defense people get away with things. I truly believed that. So it can be horseshit, but you can still believe it.
So there we
So
go.
he can believe it, but it's bollocks. Are we saying?
Exactly.
Until such time as we're proven wrong. And he may
Well-
know that's going to happen.